Just gonna open YouTube here. I think we're live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining us on the live today. We are live on Black and Tan. We are live on DMB MTV. Thank you for everyone who's gonna be joining the live and also watching the replay. We're here with Donald. What's going on, man?
What's happening, everybody? Uh, it's been a minute. We've skipped a couple of our Black and Tan Wednesday podcasts, but we're going to get back into a rhythm um, and keep it moving forward, man. Black and Tan is definitely here to stay. We're not going anywhere. We're playing around with some things. Paul is in Belize right now. I
Belize.
can't believe that he's in Belize, but the crazy thing is the dude's been there for like it seems like a month. You know, it must be nice to be able to just go on vacation and stay there for a month. I get on a vacation that long, man, and I kind
Is
of.
that how long he's gonna be over there?
It seems like I know it's only been like a week or so, but it
Yeah.
seems like a month. He's been on the Black and Tan Instagram, and he's been telling us that he's been riding while he's over there. But he's only been riding like beach cruisers and stuff like that, like going to the local fishing spot. He's been fishing more than he's been riding.
That's what I see him doing a lot of fishing. Dude, Belize is where is Belize? Is that right below Mexico?
And I don't know. You're more international than I am.
Yeah, let me see. Cuz it's one of those countries that I think is in Belize. Belize. Images.
That looks like it.
Oh, so it's next to Mexico, next to Guatemala.
How did you not know that?
I mean, it's
That would be
it's
like asking me where Texas is.
yeah. It's one of those that it's like I always forget if it's like Central America or like South America. But yeah, this doesn't really help. But let's see a better map. Oh, there you go. That's better. Oh, so it's on the Caribbean side of the yeah. So that's nice. It looks it will be nice. It'll be cool to go
Yeah, I'm
there.
sure it's a hell of a vacation. It looks crazy from the pictures that I've seen that he's been on, but
Yeah.
you know, it's if he wants to go on vacation and do stuff like that instead of hanging out with us here in Maryland, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, we don't blame him for that. Cool
Yeah.
spot though. It's cool. I wonder what the because I know when you go from here to like Central America, any place like that, Mexico, it's a lot like cheaper. I wonder if this place is like similar to that as far as like
Well, I'm
food
sure.
and like tourism and all of that.
I'm sure. But like it's weird, like certain pockets, the country as whole could be cheaper, but like around the resort could be just as expensive, if not more expensive than everywhere else. Because
Right.
they know that people like us come into their country and spend money. So they get as much of it as they possibly can.
And I think they speak English over there. They don't have Spanish.
No,
Official la-
really.
official language is English and
Wow. That's pretty
currency
cool.
currency is Belize dollar. So
Yeah,
that's cool.
that is pretty cool.
Well,
Yeah, yep. So what's been going on, man?
it looks flat.
Yeah, yeah, definitely flat. So what's been going on with you?
Nothing, dude. I haven't been live either in a long time, man. I've been
I know,
slacking.
man.
I've been
Like
slacking on the videos.
you guys have got on your YouTube channel, man. Tuesday nights
Uh,
used to be my stuff, man.
I know, man. I gotta gather that and put something together. I'm just gonna start like maybe just reaching out to locals and be like, hey, who wants to be on a Tuesday live? And just maybe focus on like doing it from home instead of like going to places. I
Yeah, I
feel
mean
like
that's
it's I feel
cool.
like it's easier.
That's cool. I just got finished talking to a guy named Chris Hour. He's putting in some hours at our shop, and he runs a big cyclocross race here in Baltimore, and I'm thinking about putting a booth up at his event
Okay.
and going live from his event with our podcast
Oh,
and
that would
doing
be cool.
bike checks and talking to people about their experience racing.
When
Um,
when is the next race?
I'm not sure on the date, but it's called Charm City Cross. So I want to say it's the biggest cross race in the United States, if not one of the biggest cross races in the United States.
Oh,
That's not like a world event or like a national. But yeah, it's huge. A lot of pros come out. It's in Baltimore City. A lot of pros come out. It's a big event. It's like a two day race, and yeah. So
Chris
I'm not
seems like
exactly sure on the dates, but
yeah,
definitely want to set up a booth and go live from there. So I mean, me and you have been talking about going live from different locations, whether it be a
yeah.
trailhead or whatever else. But yeah, see
Seems
how
like
it goes.
Chris has a lot of plugs.
Yeah, that dude is well connected. That's the
Yeah.
cool part about him, right? Like, so the industry in itself is so intertwined anyway. So you'll have, once I call us lifers, right? And what I mean by a lifer is a guy who started in the industry at a young age in a bike shop.
Hmm.
Maybe he graduated from the bike shop and became a rep. From a rep, maybe an inside rep or something like that, or maybe owning a shop. When I say lifer, I feel like the term is more uh, for someone that is not going anywhere in the industry. They're going to be involved in the cycling industry in one way or another. And
Right.
Chris is definitely that guy. He's done everything you can do in the cycling industry. He's owned shops, he's worked in shops, he's toured, he's worked as a professional mechanic for pro teams, he's raced as a pro. I mean,
Absolutely.
the guy knows everybody, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah, I
you
saw
know,
him at a race. I think it was at Chaffee Farms a couple months ago. He had the I think he was a ref. He had the USA US I don't not UCI USA like I don't know if it was a coach or it was like the people who's like monitoring who's like getting first and second and all of that. He had a USA cycling something
yeah, yeah,
uniform. Yeah.
yeah, he's like a ref.
A
Yeah,
ref. Okay, there
yeah,
you
he
go.
does. He does. He does everything. Like I said, the dude is
That's cool, man.
super in connected.
Yeah, I know when there's like special things. I know he already like came through with some of like the custom stuff that you told me about the other day about the wheels and stuff like that, which is cool.
Yeah, yeah. Some one of our guys that are on the chat right now. He's like, yeah, he's just learning that the industry is super tight, and yeah, this is it's crazy. That's why I say, man, as an industry guy, you can't burn your bridge. You can't burn
Yeah.
bridges. And I hate to say it, but he has a YouTube channel also,
Splush
and
MTB, yeah, cool
yeah,
stuff.
and he's now an industry guy. You're now an industry guy. Like you're in the industry in one shape, way, or form, right? Whether it's doing YouTube, having a YouTube channel, a cycling YouTube channel, or whether it's working in the shop, you're now in the industry.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is, you know, it's super tight. And don't burn bridges, because the guy that I don't know, you like may not like tomorrow. I hate to say it, could be your boss the next day, or the
True.
guy you don't like today may be your boss tomorrow. How's that? It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's so crazy. And we all talk to each other, especially here. I know there's in different states there's going to be different ways that shops communicate with each other, right? But here in our town close to Baltimore, like the Catonsville, the Patapsco River Valley, I'll just call it
Hmm.
the Patapsco River Valley. All the shops pretty much get along. You know what I mean? Like we're not maybe not going out and eating dinner with each other, but we
Right.
all get along to a certain extent, and we communicate with each other. So when we have a bad customer, man, we're calling each other, we're talking to each other, we're you know we're out there making sure we communicate. So the industry is super tight, especially here in Baltimore.
I mean, that's cool to have relationships like that because you never know, like when you're gonna need something, or it can be the other side. Like I remember the example that you gave me about the Cannondale, the Lab 71. I mean, that's a good point
Yeah,
where like you drove like it was 6 hours to New York, and then picked up a bike, and then you had a plug with a store over there. I mean, that kind of like all comes together, and
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
especially when you're dealing with bikes that are like, with Patapsco, a lot of people are shocked that when we sell in our area, we sell a lot of higher end bikes. So,
yeah,
$15,000, $16,000 bikes. You know, some of those bikes there may only be three or four of them in a particular size in the entire country.
yeah. Tell
And
the story about that lap. I don't know how much details you can get into, like who the client was and all of that. But man,
oh,
that was a unicorn, dude. That was a nice ride. Like I'm posting a video on my channel just to like seeing in person one of those bikes. Like I only see it on the tour and like the pros having that that level of that bike so limited.
right. So I had a customer who wanted that bike, and well, it started off. The customer actually crashed his high end Cannondale, and he cracked the frame, and he wanted to do he wanted to replace it with another high end Cannondale, and he happened to see a Lab 71, which is pretty much the highest spec Cannondale that you can buy straight from Cannondale. You can build a higher end custom, but as far as like what you get straight from Cannondale, that's the package. That's the ultimate package. So I my rep, who is a guy named Scott, who is a badass rep, he does a great job. Scott got a hold of a bicycle shop that had that Lab 71 in that particular size that customer wanted.
Yeah.
And it's so we started to it was coming from a bike shop called Strictly Bikes. People that are in the road bikes and they're on the East Coast, everyone knows Strictly. If you're in the high-end road bikes, they literally have everything. So Scott worked out a deal with me to get it from Strictly at our cost, right? So Strictly just gave me the bike, was like, yeah, if you have a guy that can use it, here you go.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about it, right? So yeah, they just hooked me up with the bike. We were going to have it shipped down, but to insure a $15,000 bike, it was going to cost me like $600-700 to ship the bike, regular ground.
Yeah.
And still, if say it was insured, yeah, but if something happened to the bike in shipping, I can't get another one. There are no other ones.
That's the one.
You know what I mean? Like there's no other one. So instead of shipping it, I just said for that amount of money, and so we don't have to take a risk, I'm just going to drive up and get it. So I drove from Maryland to New York City, and I wanted to see Strictly Bikes anyway, which was like a candy store. I've been in a lot of high end shops, but they're definitely top notch when you go into that place. You're in a high end store. So I went up there, picked the bike up, and just turned and burned. Went up 4 hours, picked it up, drove back home. I mean, that's what you got to do sometimes for a certain clientele.
This is the one.
Strictly Bicycles in New York. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I seen their stuff on Instagram a lot.
Oh,
They're the ones who do like the little dance when they give you the bike.
That's it. That's it. He puts the arrow helmet on.
There you go. Let's play one.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, the guys are super cool, man. I mean, like, dude, he was had no problems. Like,
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he had no problems hooking me up with the bike. He was super nice, man. It's actually, I talked to the guy in the helmet right there. But they sell, we sell high-end bikes.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of nice high-end bikes a month. They sell a couple of high-end nice bikes a day.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a different level. There's a handful of shops like that in New York that they don't play around when it comes to like the high end stuff. And when I say high end stuff, I'm talking anything over $10,000, right?
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
they got everything, everything that you can think
everything,
of on their
everything,
store. I mean,
everything you could think of. Like I went up there and no one else had a Red Bull bike in the United States yet, and they had one sitting on the floor built ready for a customer.
right.
You know, that was it had just came out like that week. I think is that the Red Bull bike right there?
That's the one. Yeah. Someone told me that
Yeah.
I guess when Specialized sold this bike, even though you had it on your store, that after like 3 months you weren't allowed to sell it. Like you had to wait, I guess. I don't know if it was into like the tour, into like the riders from the tour started using it, and then you were
Right.
allowed to sell it. But you had to like keep it at the store. You can display it and everything, but you weren't allowed to sell it.
Oh
Something like
wow.
that. Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I'm not at that level with Specialized.
I'm not. I
Right?
mean, it's not like I like Specialized. I just like I saw
Yeah,
something
right.
online and then like I was like,
Yeah, right.
cool.
Like we were talking earlier. So I was going to buy one of those. I was going to
Yeah.
buy one of those limited edition. I had a chance to get one of the limited edition 50th anniversary World Cup bikes yesterday. I was gonna pull the trigger yesterday, and even at my cost, which is pretty cool, pretty nice, right? Even at my cost, man, for my personal use, knowing that I wasn't going to buy it to keep it,
Yeah.
I get rid of bikes. Maybe I hold on to them for a year. As a matter of fact, my two bikes that I'm rocking right now are probably the longest that I've held on to bikes in a while. You know, um, and you know, I just couldn't justify getting that bike and not wanting to ride it as hard as I want to ride a bike, because that bike's worth is, I think it's when it's perfect, right? If you get a scratch on that 50th anniversary bike, what do you do with it after that?
Yeah. There's like
Like, are you going to sell it? You're not. And if you ride it, it's a 15,000. Is it a 15 or 14.5? Something
it's
like that, right?
14.
$14,000 bike.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The size medium, it's already sold, so I don't even want it anymore.
Yeah. Listen, it would be it. It's just the flex, right? Because we're riding that exact bike.
Right. Yeah,
That's
of
the bike
course.
that
It's just
that's the
the
bike that
paint
me and
job.
you are riding right now.
Yeah, it's what we're riding right now. Yeah, it's just the paint job. I mean, it's something that I did notice, which I'm not a fan that they did on this particular model or this release, I guess, is that they added the RockShox, the new thing that they're doing, the shifter. And I guess this one doesn't come with the brain because it comes with the locking system.
Oh,
You
does it?
see, you see how it has the locking system here, the
Oh,
RockShox.
wow.
Yeah. So I guess it doesn't have the brain anymore. It's my guess. If it has a locking, it doesn't have the brain anymore.
No, no, it's not
Yeah.
going to have. Does it lock front and back?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a question for our rep. I
They
guess
also
I need to
added
ask.
they added the 3D printer saddle. The normal model that we have doesn't have that.
Yeah, well, it's I built mine. We built ours from frame up.
You did. Mine was a full build.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're a little more bougie than me. I couldn't
Yeah.
afford that.
I mean, I got good sponsors. That's all I can say.
People take
Sorry.
care.
Sorry.
I'm not as fast as you, bro.
Sorry if you
I
got
don't get the
sponsors, man.
hookups
It's
that
not
you
my
get.
fault. It's not
I
my
don't get the
fault.
hookups that you get, bro.
It's not my fault you don't know people.
Right? And look, like the guy said, I'm not the pretty Latin dude coming out with shaved legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think the rear locks. I think they're still keeping that the same. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the I'm a fan of the bike.
I know. I think it's sick, man. I think it's absolutely sick.
What do
You
you
know,
think of the
bro.
SLA version though? This one they did good on this one. Almost all the sizes are
Dude,
gone.
see, I know, man. See, I think Specialized kind of screws up when they introduce these ridiculously high end bikes. Let's not be honest. I mean, we're all bike guys, but
Yeah.
I think they screw up when they introduce these ridiculously high end bikes back to back, right? So say if you're coming out with a banger of a bike and they introduce that Red Bull bike a month before they introduced this, I think a lot of the people that were in the market for an SL8, right?
Mm-hmm.
A high-end SL8, they saw the Red Bull bike, man, they pulled the trigger on it, right? And then a month from that, they introduced this bike. I would be pissed off if I like this bike more than the Red Bull bike, but I already spent my money on the Red Bull bike. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like, man, that
It
the
will be
market, you can only saturate the market so much with these ultra high end bikes and one of a kinds that
It will be a tough pick though between this and the SL8 though. I mean the Red Bull bike.
not for me,
Like
bro.
like how many people on the chat will rather have this or that you will go with the Red Bull?
Nah, bro. I mean, I like the Red Bull bike, but I like that better. You know how I am. I like funky colors,
Yeah,
man.
I mean this is nice. This is has the only thing and I told you this earlier. I was like, let's save it for later. The only thing that it's a shut off for me on this bike is Shimano.
Yeah, yeah. And look.
It's just like
All
as
right,
soon as
so
I see Dura Ace, okay, next.
I want to get this straight. I want everybody to understand how I feel about Shimano. Right? I tease Shimano and I call it shit mono, right? The reason I call it shit mono, it's not because it doesn't work better. I honestly think Shimano works better than SRAM, right? I think Shimano, when it's on the bike and everything's working, I think it shifts cleaner, it shifts better, and that's all you're buying it for, right? You're buying a component group to shift, and which one shifts cleaner, which one shifts better. I would say Shimano shifts better, but not enough to me to go through all the other things that go with Shimano. So like when you're putting up a Shimano bike together, man, it's so much harder to build a Shimano bike than a SRAM bike. Right? I mean, it's so much harder to tune a Shimano bike than a SRAM bike. Everything else that goes along with it, where Shimano is slightly better when it's working, it loses all that with everything else to me. So I wouldn't want a Shimano bike. I wouldn't want a Dura-Ace bike. I'd rather have a SRAM red bike. You know what I mean? And it sucks because I like the guys at Shimano. I like their product, but that's just my style, I guess. You know, it's what I kind of grew up with and cut my teeth on.
But do you think it comes down? It comes down to. I feel like it all comes down to like a preference, right? Like let's compare it, right? We're gonna say iPhone and Android, right? We have one community. Garmin and Wahoo, we have another community. Shimano and SRAM, we have another community. So I feel like once you, depending on what kind of rider you are, once you're locked into like a brand,
for sure,
I feel like you just stay there. Like once I try SRAM electronic shifting, I was like, I'm not going anywhere else. I'm staying. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like
I get it.
It's a personal preference because I mean
it is because they're all so good anyway. And let's be honest. They're so good and they're batting at that level, at the high end level that we like to ride our stuff at. They're all batting above our pay grade anyway, right? Like they're better than us, right? I mean, it's the same SRAM shifter or Shimano shifter that the pros are using in the tour, right? I'm not a tour rider and I'm using the exact same thing that they're using.
Do you think we are using the same thing, or you think it's slightly different on what they?
I mean, there might be some subtle differences, like maybe some prototype stuff that they may be testing out, like a blip shifter here or something that's coming out next year on their bike. But I think when it's all said and done, it's the same stuff. I mean, they're just testing out maybe a year in advance what we're going to get next year.
Right.
You know what I mean? That I don't think it's too much. I don't think it's too much difference, to be honest with you.
All right, we're gonna end this subject, and we're just gonna share this one more time, and we'll just take a vote on it. I don't know, man. It's a tough call.
Am I there? Or you? Are you? Or one of us is fading out.
Can you hear me? Check, check. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. All right, so we wanted to compare the SL8 S Works Red Bull with the new 50-year anniversary SL8, and we're taking votes of which one you will pick on the chat. So we lost Donald, we lost his audio, but on my vote, I feel like the 50-year anniversary is like special more than the Red Bull. I mean, it is it is a Red Bull bike, I guess, but I feel like now the Red Bull almost owns Bora team. I feel like we're gonna see maybe a new bike, a new Red Bull bike every year. I don't know if they're gonna take turns with. Can you hear me?
I'm back. Are you back?
Yeah. I can hear you. No, I was just talking that I feel like in this case the SL8 is more the SL8 50-year. It's more special than the Red Bull. I feel like we're gonna see a Red Bull bike almost every tour now. I feel like that's gonna be the new thing, especially with especially with Red Bull almost owning the entire team of Bora. I feel like they're gonna have one of these bikes almost every year.
Yeah. VJ just said just get a Red Bull decal and put it on the white Max.
I like where this is
100%. Well,
going.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's a little more detailed than just a decal. And when you get really up close on the bike, there's writing all over the frame. It's crazy detailed. But I mean, shit, for the price of that bike, man, you know, I can get my bike painted Red Bull. I can get my bike painted Red Bull, not a decal. And that's a
yeah.
decal right there. It's not even a paint job. That's a decal.
Oh yeah,
They
this is a
have
decal. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a decal with like clear coat on top. But as far as like price, the I think the Red Bull is 16,500, and this it's the same. Never mind. I thought the other one was more
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, they're both top. They have the same exact components on it, right? I mean, I think I would go honestly. I would go with the 50th anniversary and rock that for like a year.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I like loud shit, right? I mean, if I can't, here's the deal. I tell people this all the time. My whole goal with something is to start conversations, right?
Yeah.
I'm past the point where I'm fast enough to start a conversation just out of pure talent. Something that can start that conversation. And showing up to a ride on the bike, start every conversation potentially leads to someone being back at my shop, right? Buying a bike from me. So my goal is to start as many of these conversations and be as approachable as possible as I can. And one of the ways that you start these conversations is, man, you show up on a 50th anniversary tarmac.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk and see that bike, right? So, you know, that's how it works with me. It's just those things where, yeah, man, I can't show up on a plain bike. I can't show up not looking a certain way if I want to try to spark those conversations.
Well, we have mixed feelings on the chat. Some people said Rebel bike. Others said the 50. And then VJ said he'll paint one for you, basically. Yeah.
He uses crayons. VJ uses crayons.
Your internet is in and out.
Oh, all right. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I think I lost.
Try turning
I
off
think
the
I
Wi-Fi.
lost.
See if that helps.
I did turn it off. That's what got me where I'm at. I'll come right back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a fan of the Vine Sharpie markers. Yeah. I mean, I guess it all. I don't think we're gonna see like a lot of people. I feel like it was very exclusive to who got access to the 50 year anniversary stuff, because even us at the shop, like we weren't not even able to get the not even the helmet. Like I try to get the helmet and they're like, no, we can't get it. So they released the World Cup, and then they also released the SL8. And then for both I guess disciplines, they also did the custom helmets, which I'm a fan of.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So for both, they did the helmet. Helmet is cool.
That helmet is slamming though, man. I like that helmet.
Oh yeah, I like it.
I mean, they do such limited runs of this stuff that it's like, man, you gotta be there ready to order this stuff like concert tickets.
Right. I really
You know
thought
what I
these
mean?
stuff were gonna. I really thought these stuff were gonna sell out though. Like I thought like when they released it, I was like, wow. I mean, this is gonna be gone like in seconds. Just
Yeah,
kind of like
well,
what
like
happened to the Rebel bike, but it,
I don't
it
know
didn't.
why. I don't know why Specialized doesn't treat you and I special, being the internet's number one Specialized ambassadors. You would think that Specialized would honestly just hook us up with these bikes and these helmets, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I need to talk to my local rep and see what's going on, because if
I
you and
mean,
I can't if you and I can't make it hot, bro, no one will.
I think the guy from France, Victor, is making it look better than us.
I mean, he might be. He might be. He may have a few more followers than we do,
I just a few.
but but
Dude, I tell you what though, I'm getting mentally convinced that my next bike is gonna be the Epic 8. I said I will never leave from the World Cup, but dude, I saw it the other day and I was like,
dude, I say here. So here's what happened to me over the on Monday. So I went to Annapolis,
mm-hmm.
and I showed up to a local ride. One of the guys on the ride just won his national championship cross country jersey. He's rocking that. It's ABRT guys. They ride down, and I think it's called the Watts ride. It's a mountain bike ride.
Okay.
So I showed up on my World Cup, and they dropped me within 2 miles. they, they hammered me, bro. I had sweat pouring in my eyes. I
Wait,
couldn't
was this at
see. I
the
had to,
Waterworks?
yeah, I
Okay.
had to stop, right? I had to stop because literally had sweat pouring in my eyes. My heart rate was up. My whole point is, if I'm going to get dropped on a World Cup, I might as well have an Epic 8 and
Yeah.
go out and have a lot of fun on the bike. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'll have more fun on an Epic 8, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? The amount, I'm not really racing. I feel
Right.
like if you're not racing, then just get an Epic 8. I think you'll have more fun.
Well, this is what kind of like convinced me, because I don't care about weight. I really don't look at that. But look, check this out, right? So the World Cup, right? I just found out that my World Cup is 110 on the front.
Yeah, 110 and 70.
Right. So I always thought it was a 100 mil travel.
No, it's a little more.
Right.
And here's what a lot of people don't realize: the World Cup actually is raked out more than most people think. So the new age of pure cross country race bikes, like world class race bikes,
Mm-hmm.
the courses are getting so nasty now that they even rake those out. So those have more rake than like previous epic bikes. So
explain the rec.
rake. So the angle of the head tube is 90 degrees is straight up and down. When I say it's raked out, it means it's the fork is going in this direction, right? And
So it'll be like more open like that. The tire
yeah,
body is
it'll
more
be
open.
more right, more open. And the more you change the head tube angle, and head tube angle is not rake. I understand that. There's going to be someone in the chats that says it's not the same. I know it's not the same, but most people know it as the same. So they know what I mean if you're going to anyway. So head tube angle is going to be more out like this. And what that does is it makes the bike a lot more stable, especially when you start to get into rough stuff and going downhill. What they started to realize that these courses were getting so nasty, even at a World Cup level cross country race, because they're putting drops and jumps and things like that. There's 4-foot drops in a cross country race now.
Right.
You know, they're getting so nasty that they had to change the geometry of these bikes. So our bikes are sitting on a more modern geometry. That modern geometry is like a 110, 120 front end, maybe still not a lot in the back, like our bikes only have 70, but they truly feel like they have more depending upon how you set it up. I don't know how you have yours set up. Is yours set up like a hardtail?
Whichever way you set it up for me, that's how I have it. I think
Okay.
it's on soft.
Yeah. I have mine on soft also. I just think since I'm not racing, I want that extra cushion and feeling that
Right.
it helps me out. It helps
So
keep that back wheel on the ground.
so that's what I was gonna get to with the Epic 8, where the Epic 8 is it's 120 all around, right?
Uh-huh. So you have the Epic 8 at 120, 120.
Right.
You can do the Epic 8, depends on what model you get. You can get it with a dual lockout 120, 120, which is pretty sick. It's
Which
like a
is
grip shift lockout
oh
that,
this one comes with the fly attendant. So this one doesn't
yeah,
have
so
it.
that's the S works with flight attendant. That's going to
Right.
be a whole nother level of, see, I'm still torn, man. I think that's a lot of electronics, man.
It is, but okay, let me finish my point, right? So it's 120, it's only 10 plus of what we have right now, 10
Mm-hmm.
mils front, and of course a little more. This would be like a lot more comfortable than the World Cup, of course. We'll have to try it out. But then the weight, this is what like completely like blew my mind. It's only 2 pounds heavier than the World Cup.
That's a lot, Elvis.
I
Think about how much.
mean,
Think about.
think about a burrito, like the burritos we had the other day. That's
Oh
at
yeah,
least a
that's right.
pound.
That's
Like
true.
if we
We got
could,
to talk
like if we put
burritos.
it on burrito weight,
We do. We got to talk burritos. You're
yeah,
right. That's one. That's only one burrito.
that's only one burrito, yeah. So you
It's
just
not
gotta
that
go
much.
with, you just gotta go right with not lunch, and you're at the same weight.
Yeah, but
Facts.
so here's the deal. I'm willing to sacrifice a pound or two for that much more travel, and maybe only being a tad bit slower in only certain scenarios. Right? It's going to be faster in others.
That's a
Right?
good point. That's a
So
great point.
so you look at it like this. Yeah, it weighs a little bit more, but man, it's going to be way. I'd say it's going to be like, say, for instance, if we're going to do, there's a trail called Garrett's Pass that's around here.
Hmm.
I bet you I'd be faster on that Epic 8 than World Cup on Garrett's Pass all the way to the bottom.
Well, that's the thing. On this one, you will I mean, you still descend like a madman on the World Cup, even though it's 110. But at least for me, this will like feel definitely more. I mean, even for like some of the terrain that is more technical, you will have more squishy going downhill for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, again, what am I riding? I have to really think about the reasons that I'm riding my bike right now, right? I'm not racing.
Right.
Am I a Strava guy? For sure. Everybody knows that about me. Yeah. Do I like to try to get the best times I can get on Strava? So yeah, every ride has a small race in it, but that doesn't mean that that bike's going to be slower in any way at all, right? It could be faster. Um, I know it's going to be more fun because when it comes to where I'm strongest, I don't have to tiptoe around things. You know what I mean?
Right. VJ said we you should get the new
Chisel.
chisel and set it up with new parts. We got Rafita in the house. Saludos, Rafita.
Hello, Rafita.
Um, yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know. Maybe next year. Maybe next year when everything resets on my specialized world, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
need to already have. We both need to start getting people in line to buy our bikes,
Yeah.
right? So we can immediately jump on something hot.
Yeah. We should talk to the sales because I'm definitely eyeing this bad boy here.
Which one is that?
Yeah. That's the 8.
Oh, Epic 8. Yeah, that's sick, man. Have you ridden one yet?
No, not yet.
All right, so dude, we got some ends, man, that we can get on one of those and play around on them.
Yeah. So
We should get
I like this one, but that's the color that is sold out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember by the time that it's time for us to sell our bikes, which is I can sell mine now. You can sell
Yeah.
yours now too.
Nah, not yet.
Okay, we're getting close to where we can sell them.
Yeah.
So just in case the people on here don't know, we get special deals on our bikes called like pro deals and things like that. And under the contract, we have to hold on to our bikes. We can't turn around and sell them. We have to hold on to them for X amount of time. It's like a year that you have to hold on to the bikes before we can sell them. So, you know, that's what we're talking about when it's like, is it almost time for you to sell your bike? I'm pretty sure I've had mine.
You had yours for a while, dude. I think you got
Yeah.
yours when it first came out because I remember. So
Yeah.
the thing that convinced me on the 8 is this little thing here. I like it, man.
You're all about that electronics, huh?
No. The swap box.
Oh, the swap box. You know what though, man? I
like
never
the swap
use.
box.
Do you use your swap box on your other? Do you have any other bikes with swap box on it?
No, I don't. But I do have the little swap box that came with the Epic 8 with the World Cup, and I use it. I put a little tube and then two little CO2s and forget about it.
Nah, I can't. I don't mess with swap. I don't. And it seems like every company has copied Specialized, and every company does a swap box now.
But you know what the thing is? If you're doing like, if you're like in my case, right? Like if I'm doing like a long ride, then that's something less that I gotta put on my back.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I totally
For like
understand that. But
for
it's
like
like for
local
me,
stuff, yeah, it makes doesn't make sense to have one. But if you're like doing endurance, then that's a cool spot to keep tubes. Like all my essential tools will be right there. And
we're talking burritos again.
and someone just nailed it. David said burritos, and that's a great point. We tried that last time, and it fits.
Yeah.
A veggie burrito doesn't fit though. Only
No. Real burritos fit.
real burritos like pollo, carne asada, bistec encebollado con guacamole.
I don't even know what he just said, but it sounded extremely yummy.
But yeah, dude, I don't know. Yeah, we always and you can always like cut me off when I'm showing too much to Specialized, but you know me by now.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Well, I mean, like, let's be honest. So we have some sick bikes in our shop that we can get a hold of, right? We can get a hold of the scalpels. We can get a hold of the scalpels with Cannondale. Sick ass bikes, right? Like
Yeah.
we can get a hold of the BMCs. Sick ass bikes. I think on the level of like if we're talking like workmanship, if you've ever built a BMC bike, the level of workmanship and how precise they are, different level.
What's your
different level.
plug? I mean, I don't whatever you can say on the streaming. What's your plug? Like if we wanted to maybe test them out for like a year. I mean, you think we'll get the same as we get on Specialized or
Yeah, we can get hooked up. We can definitely get hooked up as shop employees and stuff. We can definitely get hooked up to play around on them.
right?
It's here's the truth about BMC and Specialized and things like that. The people that know BMC, I think they're a more precise, better bike. They're never going to outsell Specialized. They're just not going to do it, right? Specialized is, and we're all talking. Once you're on the bike, never mind the build quality. Once you're on the bike, they're all, just because it's more precisely built doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to ride better than the Specialized or better than the Scalpel Cannondale, right? There's a lot that goes into a way a bike is built, and it doesn't always mean that it's super precise. The inside is made this way, blah, blah, blah. And that doesn't always translate to it being a really good riding bike. That just means it was really put together really, really good. And people took a lot of time to finish it. Right? I mean, that's what you get out of BMC. If that matters to you, then a BMC is the bike that you want to go with, in my opinion. You know what I mean? There's a
Which
reason
we sell now.
Yeah, we sell them. They're awesome, right? I mean, we sold a couple right away, right? I mean, as soon as we got them, we sold a handful of really high-end BMC bikes right out the door.
Right.
They're not for everyone. It's not the bike for everyone. It's the bike that person wants something different. He wants a roll. It's like a Rolex. You know what I mean? It's really like that. It's super precise. It's super badass. Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the bike for everyone.
I do feel like sometimes my brother said, "Do you guys like Specialized?" Sometimes. uh, I just feel like how we said at the beginning, like it all comes down to like a preference, and at the same time, it like comes down to like who's your crew, you know? Because a lot of times you get a lot of influence, like who are you riding with?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I like I fell in love with Specialized, right? We were on a trip to Nicaragua, and my sister in Nicaragua and my brother-in-law, they were all like about Specialized, and I never have heard about Specialized. And she had this 29er hardtail. I don't even remember what it was, an Epic. And like ever since then, dude, I was like, yo, I need to get me a Specialized. It was Specialized. It was one of those shiny.
Was it a Chisel?
No, it was an Epic. Let's say 20.
Oh.
I'm gonna say 2018. Let's see. And that's it, dude. That's the one. 2018. She had this one. Dude. The two tone paint. She had the hardtail, and I was like, yo, I need to find me one of those. And they also made the hardtail version of the Epic on this color. So like ever since then, it was like I was exposed to like a higher level of like what a more advanced, I guess, more than an entry level, because I was riding like an aluminum like Cannondale Trail 3 or something like that. And I was like, yo, I need to get myself a more advanced. And that's how I was influenced into like the brand. But then like I know a group here in the area, it's called Maryland International Cycling. Like 80% of them are riding Treks.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it just depends on what pocket you fall into, right? And then you become a product of your environment. So if your environment is riding all Specialized, odds are you're probably going to ride Specialized. If your environment is riding all SRAM, odds are you're going to start riding SRAM. You know what I mean? Yeah. All the way down to the tires that you pick.
Black and tan.
You know what I mean? Like, that's right. If everybody's rocking black and tan tires, you might end up with some black and tan tires on.
You're going to be slower, bro.
Yeah, you don't want it. You don't want it. You want to be fast as hell. You rock those black and tans,
Yeah,
but
I got.
or at least look good. There's a guy who just bought a Cannondale from our shop today, and I left. When I left, he was bringing in his old bike, and I went ran some errands, and I came back to the shop, and he was walking out with a brand new with a brand new Cannondale. He brought his old Cannondale in and left with a brand new one, and he had already put on the Continental Grand Prix 5000s black and tan tires, and I was like, oh, nice choice, man. And Dave goes, yeah, he wanted to be a little bit faster, so he got the black and tan tires.
Yeah, he left faster.
Yeah, he left a little faster.
My brother said, "I'm a product of what can I afford."
Yeah, we, we all are.
Yeah,
We all are.
it's good stuff, man. They just keep releasing stuff. Now they just released that new SRAM, and like it just keeps going. There's like no end to it.
Yeah, because we fall victim to that stuff. You know what I mean? We fall for I call it the okey doke, right? We fall for the okey doke. It's a trick. They trick us into believing that we need the latest and greatest, and you know we fall for it every single time, man.
Yeah,
It's crazy because what was wrong with the old SRAM Red? Nothing.
nothing. Yeah, it was perfect. It was shifting fine.
But I need that new red though, man. I need that new red in my life, bro.
The new red has those little like you're shooting
Yeah.
on the top.
VJ just called us suckers.
Suckers.
VJ, we can't all be strong-willed like you, my man.
Well, he was talking
Like,
about he ordered a new bike. I don't know
yeah,
what he's talking about.
he ordered a different bike. He don't order new bikes. He orders different bikes. That dude is eclectic. He likes a bike that's made from gorilla hair and bamboo. It's how is it lugged? It's lugged with the mane of a unicorn and made of unobtainium. And that's how he rocks.
Let's see. Oh, he hasn't
Yeah.
posted anything. I guess he hasn't got it yet.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's not.
it's all a preference, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, we all fall for this stuff. The industry has to reinvent itself, right? Our industry is constantly reinventing itself, and they have to do it because it's a bike, right? Think about it. It's so simple that how can a bike will last 20 years, right? If you maintenance your bike right, it's going to last like 20 years. So how the industry is not going to wait 20 years for someone to buy a new bike or new product. So they're going to try to reinvent it, and they're going to get suckers like me who has to have the latest greatest to go out and buy it. And they'll lure us in with they hold the carrot in front of our faces, and we fall for it every time. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm in the industry. This is what I do for a living, right?
It's like you're not. You sound like you don't sell bikes for a living.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It's in the car industry. It's in the cycling industry. It's in everything that we do for fun, right? It's in everything that we do for fun. That's the way it works.
And
You
then I
know?
mean, yeah, I mean, we all know that guy that still runs 26 mountain bike wheels.
Yeah, there's a guy that works at our shop. His name is Bill. Bill's rocking some old stuff. So listen, Bill's rocking a 19. I want to say it's a 1982. No, it's not that old.
Not
It's
that old.
like a 2015. All his bikes are like 2015s.
Is it an Epic?
Right?
No, it's
No, it's all Cannondale stuff. He all rocks Cannondale.
no. He has
Like,
a specialized. Isn't it a camper?
oh, it is. It is
Camper.
it's a camber. Yeah, a 275 camber that literally, you You know when you're walking down the street and you see this old lady walking this old dog, and you're like, damn, that dog is old as hell. It looks like it's ready to die. That's how when I see Bill riding his bike, that's how I feel when I look at his bike. But Bill rips that shit.
Yeah, Bill's is fast, dude.
Bill's fast, bro. Bill
That's it
rips
right there.
every chance Bill gets. Every chance Bill gets. I think he only has 8 speed. He's rocking grip. He's rocking grip shift.
He picked the wrong day not to be on the chat today.
He's rocking. Bill's still rocking grip shift, 8 speed, killing it, dude. You know? Did you see what he did? So me and you went out and to get top 10 in this segment, and
Oh, the one. Okay, the long one.
the long one, yeah. So we went out, and I think I got like 5th in it, and I think you got like right behind me 6th.
Mhm.
But it was, and by the way, I try to explain to everybody, you could have gotten way higher up on the chart if you would have just went around me like I told you to. Elvis refused to go around me on a climb, and I knew I was holding him up. But so Bill goes out and gets the second fastest time.
What?
Yeah, he went out on that daggone 275 and with his grip shift and his 8 speed with his grip shift with 8 speed. I think he might have a triple on the front. Remember back in the day when they had triples?
Yeah.
I think he might have a triple on the front.
That's
but
like
either way,
pounds right there.
Yeah. But either way, he went out and got the second fastest time on that bike, just to prove a point.
I mean, what's the advantage on? What would be the advantage on the 27.5? Would be like cornering, mainly, right?
Oh man,
and like descent.
Have you ever? You've never ridden one, have you?
I don't think I was born when they made those.
Yeah, I know. They try to make a comeback. Like they try to make it a thing, and it never caught on. It's like, dude, if you're just gonna be a 26, just be 26.
Right.
Do 29 or 26, whatever. But the advantage is just slightly smaller spokes mean stronger wheels, right? So the wheels are, no matter what, the wheels are going to be stronger. The wheels are going to be less flexy. They because they're a tighter, they're a smaller wheel. They actually spin up faster as well. So they're going to be a little bit more punchy in the corners. The length of your bike is shortened a little bit, so your bike doesn't quite feel as big going through tight sections. So those are the advantages. The disadvantage is everything else. I mean everything else, right? Like, I mean, it doesn't roll over as well. It doesn't handle on the downhills as well. You don't get as much traction. There's the list goes on and on and on for why you want to run a 29. Not to mention that there's just more available product out there right now. You try to go buy really nice 275 wheels or tires or wheels or anything else, and you just can't find it. It's not available because it didn't catch on.
So will be the same with the other thing that they're doing, the mallet, or that's a different thing.
Yeah,
I think that also okay. Because I know that's getting popular, or it has always been around, or it's newer.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these, again, this is all the industry's way of trying to reinvent itself, right? So they can get more bike sales and product sales. So they'll come out with something that's like, and by the way, when Elvis said mallet, it's mullet. That's what he was talking about.
I don't think no one pay attention to my accent, bro.
I think it's a cool accent. I tell people that all the time. If we talk about socks,
don't go there.
We talk about socks. Anyway, all right. So
Oh
So
yeah. So
yeah,
Harry brought a good point. I don't even remember you had a Yeti, Elvis. That's true. I had a Yeti back in the days when I was exploring my world of what I like in cycling. I had a Yeti 2.75, 130 mil. Yeah, that's true. And
hey,
I did.
someone asked about what's our favorite, Roubaix, Tarmac, or Athos? Which is your favorite and why? It's cool, man. I right now, if we're talking like bikes right now, the modern bikes. So I have a Roubaix um, SL8 right now. My
Mhm.
favorite bike. It's my favorite bike. Um, I had I still have my Tarmac SL7, and I had an Athos for a really small period of time. Um, Literally two rides, and I chose to go back to a Tarmac from the Athos. Um, Reasons why. Let's start with the Roubaix.
Yeah.
The Roubaix is aerodynamic. It actually has some some aero built into the frame. The seat tube, the seat post is a D-shaped seat post. It's got some of the Athos inspiring the rear triangle. It's very lightweight. It has a future shock in the stem, super comfortable. It's fast, comfortable, and you can fit 42 millimeter tires in that bad boy,
Yeah.
right? 42 millimeter tires in it. You could, so I have my Roubaix almost dedicated to as a gravel bike.
It's a gravel bike.
Yeah, it's a light, and where we go gravel riding, it's super smooth as far as gravel is concerned. It's beautiful. The bike's fast. It does everything. I picked the Roubaix as my favorite. The Tarmac is faster for sure. So there's going to have to be a scale. Are you going to scale it from comfort or are you going to scale to speed? Right? The Tarmac is what I ride when I have to try to keep up. The Roubaix would be what I would ride all day long. If I only had one bike to pick, it would be the Roubaix. The Athos was great, but the Athos had too much flex, and I felt I was leaving a lot on the table when it comes to putting power down. I'm more of an explosive, more power rider than I am someone that sits in the saddle and just spins. And every time I went to put maybe over 1,000 watts into the Athos, I could feel that flex in the bike not really wanting to accelerate like the Tarmac. So the Athos is on the end of the scale for me as far as my favorite bike. Roubaix is the most consistent and the best, in my opinion, if best all round bike. And then the Tarmac, if you're not worried about comfort and you only want speed, the Tarmac would be the bike you want to go with. So you've had those bikes too, Elvis. What do you think?
Um, I never had the Atos before, but for me the Atos looks just like a Crocs. On,
Yeah, it really is. So the Crux was designed. Picture the Crux as an off road or a gravel Athos.
right. In my case, dude, I like the we it's funny because we had this conversation today and I told you, dude, I really, really want a um a SLA like full road bike, right?
Yeah,
And like you were like, with the stuff that you do, like the gravel, mixed road gravel, all of that, you're gonna miss the Roubaix. And dude, the
yeah,
Roubaix, like I mean, you said it all. The Roubaix, one is comfortable, one is fast, and it's like a do it all bike. Like if you do the setup to where like you have two set of wheels, one for gravel, one for road, it's like all you need.
yeah,
It comes
yeah.
with like a gear ratio for like climbing. It's an endurance. I mean, it's an endurance road bike. It just has the capability of clearing very tight 42Cs.
Yeah, so I'm running. I
Yeah.
am running a mullet on mine right now. So I am running a 38 in the back and a 42 in the front. The 42 in the front clears no problem. The 42 in the back was a little too tight, and I was afraid of it rubbing the frame.
Oh, did you end up
So
putting a 38?
yeah, I did. I'm running
Oh,
a
okay.
38 in the back.
Maybe I need
So
to do that.
yeah, so it's sad because Specialized doesn't make a Pathfinder S Works in a 38.
Yeah.
So I'm running a Pathfinder Pro in the back with an S Works 42 in the front. Again, I really can't tell that. Honestly, I can't tell the difference. I can tell the difference in the weight of the S Works tire. The S Works 42 is definitely lighter than the Pro 38, but it's worth it to me.
I
I have
just,
peace of mind.
like, in my opinion, like even with the new, going back to the Athos, even with the new colorways that they release of the Athos, I feel like the Athos is like stuck in time. At least that's my, because like to be like a brand new bike that got released this year, not this year, not
But
this
recently,
model, but it got like kind of like they made new colors, right? Where are the new colors? Athos. I know they made new colors with the new Shimano, with the new SRAM. I thought they did. Is this it?
yeah. I mean, I just feel like the Athos is for that more pure hill climber, that guy that wants that stripped down, lightweight bike. Uh, that gives you a lot of. It's supple, right? The frame is really supple. It's not an explosive bike. You're not going to
Right.
see someone racing crits on an Athos, right?
But like, look, if they did, look, dude, this is just my opinion, right? If they did integrated cables on the Athos, and they put the cockpit on this thing will look so much better. And I seen people that they do like the custom where they kind of like hide the
Yeah,
cables inside, which I don't know how. I mean, you probably avoid warranty by doing that. But I
yeah.
just feel for like a bike that has been, on the market for the next couple of years, they should have just remake this part of it. I don't know.
No, I get you. I got
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
We're in
It's
2024
still
where everything is integrated, even mountain bikes.
yeah, but there's going to be a small group of people that still are okay with it just being non-integrated. Because I mean, there's still those traditionalists that don't really care. To me, that bike just looks um like they took an SL5 tarmac
Hmm.
and called it an Athos. Right? They cleaned it up a little bit and called it an Athos.
So the Athos is a climbing bike, like a not endurance, but a climbing bike. Then
It's climbing endurance. Let's just call it
climbing
that. A
endurance.
climbing
Okay.
endurance, right? So it has enough give in the frame that it's super comfortable, so you can ride it all day long.
Look at that weight, man.
Yeah,
That,
it's silly.
that's insane, dude.
It's silly. It comes out of the box lighter than you can race with UCI limits.
What's the limit
UCI
on UCI?
15 pounds.
Are you serious?
Yeah, anything under 15 pounds is too light to race in a UCI event. So, but that was made back in the dinosaur days when bikes were weren't that light, and people were coming to the tour with a 12-pound bike that was cracking in the middle of the race
Right,
and
right.
breaking in the middle of the race because they made them too light. So the UCI said, "Hey, look, for us to make it safe for everybody in the peloton, we're going to put a 15-pound weight limit on these bikes to make sure that they're safe for everybody." And that stuck since shoot, I want to say 2004, 2003, something like that. Early 2000s is I think when they did that, or early or late 90s is when they put that rule in effect. And obviously, bikes have gotten so much stronger and so much lighter and new materials now that rule really should be lifted. Um, or the weight should be lowered maybe to 12 pounds.
Jeez.
Right. So where do you go from there? You know what I mean?
Removing a couple spokes.
Oh well, they already have bikes with with hardly no spokes in them anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
just
like,
feel like the gentleman who asked about like what bike. I feel like nowadays, like especially if you live here, like in the area or like in states, right, where you have the option to like go test out the bike. Like when I got into biking, it was like what do I like? And I never like it took me a while to find out. Like I rode, which that's the cool thing about cycling. And I think I said a whole bunch of times on the channel, and I'm gonna say it again. Like you go through like so many bikes. We talked about 27s. Like I rode single speed bikes. I rode fat bikes, and then I went 27, and then I went big suspension. It's like all over the place, right? Until you find like what you like. And the cool thing
yeah,
about like having shops around your area, it's like you can go test ride a bike, see if that's what you like, or like even like start low, like don't go like top like tarmacs or like carbon full and all of that until you see where like you find yourself. Do you like trail bikes?
yeah,
Do you like road bikes? Do you like gravel bikes? Or do you like, you know,
yeah, because you can end up with this really high end bike that's not even in the right category.
which we
That
all
you
know
that you're
someone
not.
like that.
Yeah, dude, I know people that have bought downhill bikes to go riding in Patapsco.
Yeah,
You
right,
know, and I'm like, oh, wrong. That's the wrong tool for the job.
right,
You know, it's one of those things where you want when you're getting into cycling and you don't really know where you're going to get in and where you fit in. Yeah, it pays sometimes to relax a little bit, chill out, maybe even buy a used bike,
right,
dabble into it that way. That way you're not investing more than you need just to realize that you've made a mistake in where you want to be.
right. All right, let's see. We got some people that commented on the chat. Let's get to the chat real quick. Oh, J3 Juan Nunez was talking about that influencers have to do a lot with the with like when you buy a new bike. Last Patasco shop ride I went to, some dude was riding a very old school stump jumper with the OG brain. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, if you take care of the bikes, like I said, if you take care of your bike, it'll last a long time.
right.
It'll
Yeah.
last a long time.
I always say though, if you have like I for the past, I mean, I've been blessed, and I told you this before with with the hookup that you gave me to work in the shopping and use the discounts and everything. Like even before, like if I was once I got into like a more of like high end bike, I will always sell the bike like a year and a half after, because like you tend to lose a lot of value on the frame,
A
especially
ton.
if you wait like 2 years and then like three models come out
Yeah.
and then like
It's a buyer's market right now. It's not a seller's market, right? And what I mean
right,
by that is you buy a bike for, say, if you did pay retail for one of these real high end bikes, and you say if you paid $14,000 for it, you rode it for a year, you're probably only going to get $6,000 for the bike,
right.
right? That's a
And if
year later. That's a year later. It's it's
and
it's
if it's
more
a
than
I'm just gonna
50%
say, and if
appreciation.
it's a Trek, you're gonna get probably like 3,000.
Yeah, it just depends, right? One of those popular brands, man. So I have a business partner right now who, so he's selling his S Works, um, that it still had some of the plastic stickering on it, that protective plastic. It
Mm-hmm.
still had some of that on it, so he has very little miles. I mean, he sold it used for $6,800. It's a $14,000 S Works tarmac with full red on it. The problem is they introduced a new red, so your old red is not worth as much. It's an SL7 instead of an SL8, so they introduced a new frame, so that frame's not worth as much.
Right, because it's like two models behind.
Oh, it's one model behind. So, but either way,
Right. Oh yeah, yeah, you're right, right.
on both shifters and frame, it's one model behind. No matter how nice it is, you are not getting anywhere close to the $14,000 mark for it. It could be brand spanking new, and you're not selling it for 14 grand now. You're selling it
Right.
for whatever market will is willing to pay for it. And I can tell you now that they're not willing to pay $14,000 for a bike that's one generation out.
Right.
So
Yeah, I thought yeah, I mean it happened to me too when I sold my when I'm but that was two models older when I saw my
yeah,
SO6.
yeah,
I
it
didn't
gets
get
tough.
nowhere near close of, what I paid
No,
for the bike.
you gotta accept that you're going to get something for it,
Right.
and hopefully that something is any somewhere close to what you want. Because I mean, a lot of times it's okay. Well, I'm not going to get what I want for this. This is going to be my backup bike, and I'll go from there. I'll use this bike as a backup bike because it's not worth me selling it at the price that these people are asking me to sell it for.
Yeah. See what else we had. You want to chat about the Olympics? Did you watch the race?
I watched the highlights. Let me tell you about me and racing. I never sit down and watch all the race.
No.
I know I can't do it, man. I
I
it's so much. I mean, I like to watch the action that happened, even in like the tour.
Yeah.
I know people that wake up early in the morning and they'll watch the entire race, bro.
Yeah, I
And I'm
watched the whole
like,
thing.
I can't do it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I watch the extended highlights on YouTube. I watch the extended highlights on everything on YouTube,
Yeah.
and it gives me everything I need to see. I see, and it's crazy. I can tell you now that these Olympic racers are on another level.
Oh, the you're talking about the cross. I haven't seen none of the other cycling, but I did see
Yeah, the cross
the
country,
the cross
cross
country. Yeah.
country. So we're talking someone that raced in the Tour de France, right? Gets done with the Tour de France a couple weeks later and still in enough peak fitness that can go out and handle his business in the Olympics.
Right.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like your
I,
body, people that race the Tour de France, it takes them 6 months before their body heals to the point where they could ride at a high level again most of the time.
6 months.
Dude, their body is breaking down so bad during that 2 weeks of riding. They lose muscle mass, they lose everything. Like people don't realize how hard the tour is on you. And I'm talking that the guys that are like at the front. There's people that are pulling out of the tour that it takes maybe not 6 months. All right, let's just say 4 months. Right. But it's either way, any way you look at it, it's a long period of time. So for you to go from the tour and straight into the Olympics and do well in the Olympics, that's beast mode. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think Tom Pickup finished the tour. I think he left early with COVID, they said, but I think he did it purposely to be in a good top shape on
I wouldn't doubt it.
to defend the gold medal, which
All right, never mind that. He had COVID.
right, yeah.
right? Think about it. Like he had COVID a month ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Right. I know how I felt after I had COVID and how long
Yeah.
it took me to recover.
Trying to find the clip. I don't know if you saw the clip. There was like a lot of stuff going on to where how he won.
Right.
Did you see that or no?
Yeah, I did with the bottle hanging out of his mouth going off the drop.
No. So they were like going against each other like the whole race, right? And in
Right.
like
Oh, yeah.
in the last like I think it was like 400 meters or something like that. Tom Peacock takes this line and
On
like
the inside.
and they basically crash. And there was a lot of booing from like the French fans, like saying
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't fair.
Yeah. He needed to get out of there really fast. He
Yeah.
shouldn't have at the end of the race, he definitely shouldn't be hanging around. They should definitely put him in a car and get him out of there as fast as possible.
Take that goal home, bro.
Yeah,
So
go
look,
home with it.
so there was apparently this one didn't show. I'm not going to play audio because otherwise we'll get flagged and demonetized and we'll lose all of our sponsors. But here you go. Here's one of the ones that happened apparently on somewhere on the at some point in the race, right? That was one, and then Pickett just boom elbows and then keeps going.
Yeah, that's
I
part of it, man.
mean, right, and that's what he
That's
said.
part of it. Like there's you can't get away with that in road cycling, but you can 100% get away with that in mountain biking and cyclocross, right? Cyclocross, rubbing is racing. Mountain biking, rubbing is racing. It is what it is.
Yeah. And oh, there you go. Here's a good one. So this is, dude. This is on like almost to the sprint, like to the end. Let's see if they play it again. And that's when he like basically took off.
Dude, look at how much he
Yeah,
is.
look at that
he
gap,
is
yeah.
just technically better. Did you see how fast that gap formed too?
Yeah.
It was like out of nowhere.
Okay. Look at. We're gonna get. Let me find it, and then I think we're supposed to only play like 6 seconds.
Yeah, you're gonna make us lose all our sponsorships.
Sorry.
Red Bull's
So,
gonna drop
I
it.
am so sorry. I'm so sorry, Specialized. Okay, here you go. Real quick. This is the last right there. Boom. And that's what cost him goal.
Yep.
But dude, he got a flat. Peacock got a flat, and then he was like, I think he was like 2 minutes behind, and then he still caught up to him.
Yeah, he's a different level.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up. You want to plug in the shirt? They can order it at Hill Killer.
Boom, we got these. Let me see if you can see it good. Boom, we got the shirts. This is a mountain bike jersey. We have a little bit of everything. Hill Killer really came through and hooked us up. You can go on hillkiller.com and you can actually find a lot of our designs and things like that. Remember why we do Black and Tan, and our whole goal with Black and Tan is to actually give back to the youth cycling community in our area. So we have a handful of big youth cycling teams. So we have BYC, which is the largest. I just found this out today. BYC is the largest junior racing team in the country. I didn't realize that. Baltimore Youth Cycling is the largest youth cycling race team in the country, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so you can go online, go on Black and Tan. You can actually order that jersey, and proceeds, like I said, any profit that we get off of that is all going back to youth cycling. So that's what we're hoping for. We do road jerseys, we do mountain jerseys, all different styles, all different cuts, things like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, it really will help out. We want to get to the point where we're selling enough jerseys that we can write BYC and NICA checks. You know what I mean? That's our ultimate goal, is to be able to write some checks to some of these youth cycling organizations that are help building our cycling future.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Nice chatting with you, man. See what we do next. Thanks everyone who was in the chat. We still got some people connected. Thank you so much, and thank you to all of those who will watch this on the post live, I guess.
Yeah. So
thank you so. Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, make sure you subscribe on the bio of this video. We have both channels. We have the Black and Tan channel, and we have the DMVM TV. So make sure you subscribe to both of our channels, and maybe drop a like.
That's right. I dare you guys to do it. You won't do it.
You know what I was gonna do, and I completely forgot, and I had the link set up and everything. I was gonna stream to TikTok. I want to start like testing, like streaming live to TikTok, see how that goes.
I think just TikTok has a lot of weird stuff going on there, right?
Yeah, everything does weird stuff, man. You just gotta like scroll and pass it.
Okay, I got you.
But thank you everyone for joining. We got are you doing the road ride this Friday? I think I'm finally gonna be able to join the road ride at the shop.
Yeah, I think I am. It just depends on how the shop's going. It's always with me. It's all dependent
Gotcha.
upon how busy we are in the shop and whether or not I feel like it's justified for me to walk away from a busy shop to go for a bike ride.
Okay. Cool. But I'll definitely be there. I want to do one of those A groups, see how I feel.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
All right, brother. Nice chatting with you, and I'll see
All
you.
right.
I'll see you soon. Have a good night.
Later, guys.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Later.
How do we end the stream? The red button.